Hi, my name is Alex Lotorto. I come from Pike County, Pennsylvania, on the Delaware River in the town close to Milford, Dingmans Ferry. And I just want to tell a quick story about Dingmans Ferry. The village of Dingmans Ferry no longer exists. It was bulldozed in the 70s by a very arrogant Army Corps of Engineers led by the Park Service, an idea brainstormed by a president who gets a lot of credit for being a leader, a progressive leader, or so-called progressive leader. John F. Kennedy proposed damming the Delaware River in 1961, seizing 40 miles of land, farmland, agricultural land, homesteads, young families that had enjoyed the benefits of the GI Bill after World War II, had fought for their country against fascism, were all of a sudden left with the decision of whether to abandon their homes at the behest of the same government that they put their lives on the line for, or fight back against a government that was in a Cold War, the most powerful institution in the universe at the time, militarily, economically, was the U.S. government. And in what is now the Delaware Water Gap, a struggle for those homes took place against a new federal commission called the Delaware River Basin Commission. That commission was formed to make the decision among the states of Delaware, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, New York, and the federal government, which was, the vote was delegated to the Army Corps of Engineers to decide what the integrity of the dam would be and whether it would be good. And the stated purpose for the dam was to provide a hydroelectric power for New York and Philly, and water resources in case of a nuclear holocaust. And it was partially very much driven by the Cold War era mindset that bigger was better and we needed to build the powers up. And the proud people of the Delaware River Valley, many of them refused to leave. Some of them fought back in a campaign called Doom the Dam, attended all of the hearings, made a political mess for the politicians who wanted to do this project, and defeated the proposal with a split vote where the Army Corps of Engineers did not vote and the states were split 2-2. So the dam was never built. Now we have the Delaware Water Gap, and many of those people still live in their homes and cannot sell their property to anyone else but the federal government due to eminent domain. And I think about my town in Pike County and Wayne County up north of us. In 2011, we're in the sites of the gas drilling industry, who had at that time drilled, I believe, 12 wells in Wayne County as exploratory into the Marcellus Shale. And we're expecting to drill up to 20,000 wells in the Delaware River Valley, including New York State. And the body that had to make the decision of whether or not to drill in the Delaware was the Delaware River Basin Commission, the same political body that was set up by John F. K's administration and Lyndon B. Johnson after him to decide the fate of our lives, and had decimated Dingmans Ferry, which was bulldozed, and they had stolen 40 miles of the Delaware River from people. And what I'm trying to say is that it's not always corporations that make these decisions to seize the rights of people. And I think we have a lot in common with especially working conservative families who have the issues of eminent domain and property rights at their forefront. And the issues that we talk about today are neither liberal or conservative. And I think my organization, Energy Justice Network, also tries to say it's not just about the environment, it's also about economics and rural poverty and urban poverty. The environmental justice issues of our time have to be approached as just that. And I think when we divide up between our party lines, we miss the opportunity to make a change. I think that the other false narrative that's presented to us is that we can either have good jobs or a good environment, and I think that that's a false narrative. I don't think they're mutually exclusive. And I'd like to see our labor brothers and sisters in unions, particularly involved with environmental justice fights, where, for example, a working family in Milford, Pennsylvania, retires on a union pension to a household where a pipeline comes through. This happened last year with the Tennessee pipeline in my county. And their property is partially seized via eminent domain and is devalued. And the mortgage that they're paying on that, they're paying with the union pension and the union wages they fought with their union throughout their lives to earn. Well, is that not a theft of their wage? Is that not an attack on working people when property values are decreased because of this drilling and industrialization of our rural landscape? And I think that as a union member with the industrial workers of the world, I feel that we have an obligation as labor union members to speak out for the earth, because most of all, our political enemies are the same as far as environmentalists and labor unions. The same people that want to pass right to work legislation in this state under Governor Corbett are the same ones that want to have unhindered, unreined, unrestricted gas drilling throughout the Commonwealth. And so we have to realize that in the past, Northeast Pennsylvania has made these connections, and we fought together, and we should not let the industry divide and conquer. The coal companies were very successful in doing that. They would arm the Welsh workers to fight the Irish. The coal mine police would be Welsh, and the Irish would be the miners, and they would fight each other even though the coal was still black. And it didn't matter what to the working man what color the coal was or what color the money was, because we got neither. We mined it for the coal companies. And I think the next generation of industrialists are here, and they've become the shale gas industry, and they're going to treat us the same way that Pennsylvania's been treated before. Big timber stripped 90% of our state forest lands in the 1800s into the 1900s, before a forestry movement came to Pennsylvania. Gifford Pinchot was a governor in the 30s and said you can't cut all the trees down, you have to cut a few and let them grow back and let the forest replenish itself so we can use it as a benefit from it as a natural resource. Then the coal companies, we had to kick them out, and they left us with coal mine fires. In Lackawanna and Luzerne County alone, there's 8 coal mine fires burning. Our towns are on fire because the coal companies were irresponsible and didn't take care of their waste coal and the coal that's left in these around the processing. And now we have the shale gas industry, and they promise they're going to be different. But I think we know better. I think Pennsylvanians have dealt with these industries for generations and have ancestors who fought and died in strikes in the mines, were exploited under the timber industry. We have to remember our history. Don't let the shale gas industry tell you that they came here, they're benevolent, they came here from Houston and they're just here to help, because that's not true. They didn't come here just to help us. They came here to make a buck, and that's why we have to stand together and be skeptical and understand that they're going to disrespect us, and to fight for our rights and stand up to them. I don't care what your stance is on fracking. These industries are going to they're going to exploit us if we don't stand up to them. So don't be a friend of them, at least. Be skeptical, challenge what they say, get the facts, demand the studies. And most of all, we need to ban fracking. We need to get to the just transition where we take workers who are traditionally reliant on fossil fuel industries and put them in jobs that are going to remain here, that don't require them to destroy their bodies, their families, the public health, or the environment. How difficult would that be? If you had the trillions of dollars that this oil and gas industry has, each and every one of you could come up with a better idea to do with it than to be fracking. And I think that's the new democracy we have to demand in our state legislature, in our towns, in our communities, and in Washington. And we shouldn't let the next presidential candidates run with this either. We got to stand up to the Democrats, especially Hillary Clinton, where she's coming in and saying she wants to support drilling like she did at the State Department. So please, make sure this is a forefront. Make sure the environment is an issue that you vote on and that you talk about at your dinner tables and your polling places and your community groups. Thank you.